In our current implementation, we show a spinner while we fetch the genres and skeletons while we fetch the games. So we're dynamically loading two different parts of the page and showing loading indicators. Now, while this is not necessarily a bad thing, overusing this technique can negatively impact the user experience. It makes their eyes dart around the page. So here's a cool idea to improve things. We can ship the list of genres with our application. Since the list of genres hardly ever changes, we can treat it as static data and include it with our app. That way, we won't need to make an extra request to our backend, and the data will be available right away. No need to wait and show a spinner. So let's open up DevTools. And here on the Network tab, let's look at our genres. So here's what we get from the server. Now, right-click on the results and copy its value. Now, back to our project here in the source folder. Let's add a new folder called data. Here we add a new file called genres.ts. Now here we type export default, and then we paste the object that we copied. So we're including static data with our application. These are all the genres we get from the server. Now let's go to our genres hook. So use genres.ts. In this module, instead of using the data hook to call the server, we should return an object with three properties: data, is loading, which we set to false, and error, which we set to null. Now, the reason we should return an object with these properties is to minimize the impact of this change on the consumers of this hook. So let's go to our genre list component. This component is a consumer of the genres hook. It expects to get an object with three properties: data, is loading, and error, right? Now, we don't want the changes that we apply in this hook impact this component and other components that use this hook. That is why we are returning an object with these properties, okay? Now, here we should set the data property to the genres we have stored in the genres module. So on the top, we don't need the data hook anymore. Instead, we're going to import genres from data/genres. Now we set data to genres, okay? Absolutely minimal impact. Now let's test our application, refresh, genres available right away. There is no spinner. Now let's go back to our genre list. With this change, we can get rid of these two lines because we no longer care about the error and is loading properties. But I prefer to keep this implementation here in case we change our mind in the future and decide to call the server to get the genres. Now we could use the same technique with the list of platforms because once again, the list of platforms hardly ever changes. So it's totally fine to ship it as static data with our application. But I leave it up to you as an additional exercise. So we're done with this step. Now it's time to commit our code to the repository. Here I'm going to say ship genres with the app.